Hello, I'm Lawrence Chard and welcome to our YouTube channel. I should also say to our German and Bavarian viewers, willkommen, guten Tag and wie geht's? That's probably mainly because I'm wearing this hat, and you can probably see badged Paulaner Brewery in Munich in Bavaria, and it's got a hunter type feather in it because there are a lot of hunters around there. But anyway, for now I'll take it off because I don't normally wear a hat, but I acquired that over the weekend. So one of the things you can try and work out if you like a bit of fun during the video while I'm waffling about sovereigns is where I got the hat. There are some clues in the video, but you need to be very precise, and all will be revealed at the end of the video. While I was away this week, and clue one's coming up, in Barcelona at the LBMA annual conference, somebody wanted to tell us a quantity of gold, and it included about 750 sovereigns. Most of those I've got here in front of me. We happen to know that the coins were bought from, well, not from us, which was a shame. We'd have hardly needed to check them then, but from one of our competitors, somebody that we've known for a very long time actually in London. Because of that, I would be very surprised to find any fakes in here, and I can't always say that. Mainly if we buy a few hundred sovereigns in or a few thousand, I usually expect to see substandard coins and fakes. These at the front here, and there's about 300 are all George V. This lot here are 300 plus Gillick portrait sovereigns. Then there are a few odd ones in little bags here that are making up the numbers, and there's a handful or so that have actually been spirited away. I think there were 15 or 20 young St. George in there that I don't see today. And then a few bags of just odd ones for me to check. And just as we were setting up to do this, Juliana popped in and said, oh, you might want to have a look at this one as well. And this one is a 1918 Melbourne Mint sovereign. It looks perfectly normal. Certainly genuine, except there's a little raised gold blob in the date area between the 1 and the 9, and raised blobs tend to be a major question mark, and I don't know why this one's got the raised blob. I had a few seconds looking at it before we started. I've now doubled the time that I've spent looking at it. I can feel it there with my finger. It's definitely there. It's not something stuck on. It's not coming loose. That can really only be created by there being some damage to the die. The die must have had a hit from a sharp implement, or there might have been something like a piece of stray metal got in between the die and the coin on a previous striking and actually damaged the die. Normally that'd really show up on the coin that was being struck, not the die, so it's still surprising. Possibly a sharp tool got dropped onto the die. I don't think we'll ever know. 1918, it's over 100 years, so we can't really question whoever was running the machine at the time. He'll be long dead and gone. Normally my job on these, the Gillicks usually don't need much serious scrutiny, although I have actually found fake Gillicks in the past. They're actually something of a rarity. Fairly sure that they've been sorted out with good expertise by Juliana, so there will be no substandard coins in there. They've already been checked. And the ones I've seen so far also, no substandard coins. Again, that's surprising because when we buy in bullion sovereigns on the secondary market from investors and private individuals, it's unusual to find that they're all good. We might buy 10 or 20 coins and I'd expect there to be one or two substandard and maybe even a fake coin or so. And on the bag it says weird, LC check. They don't really look weird to me, and oddly enough, just before we started shooting I said, oh, the lighting in here is bad for checking sovereigns. We've actually put some extra lights on. Oh, there's one scratch on that one, so I remember there's one of the others that got some little scratches and scuffs. So those might end up, one or two of those might end up getting downgraded to what we call grade C. A few years ago we invented our own grade, which is grade C. There isn't a grade B. We call them grade C to make it quite clear that they are not sort of normal, acceptable bullion quality. Every dealer has a threshold but when it comes to what's an acceptable bullion grade coin and what isn't. Our threshold tends to be higher than most other people's. With some of our competitors, their standards for bullion grade are far lower than ours. Their threshold is often very low. Tends to be from pawnbrokers and other people that buy in scrap or buy in jewellery, scrap jewellery. If you actually compare, if you're buying bullion sovereigns as an investment or because you collect them, and you were comparing our price for our choice bullion coins and our competitors' prices, it's not a strict like-for-like comparison because ours are guaranteed genuine to start with, and we do know how to tell, and also our threshold is a little bit higher than most of our competitors. So I'm just going to jump back to these four weird ones for a minute because we think we ought to show you a close-up of them. There's nothing really wrong with this one except it's quite grainy and it's got an orange peel kind of look, which is something that you commonly see on fakes, but you can also see on perfectly good coins, which is probably why it's been pulled out as weird, and I'm doing a second check. The next one here has got a series of scratches just down here. I would say the first one of those is clearly a very acceptable bullion coin. An inexperienced buyer might actually go, ooh, orange peel, what's that? The other three are all fairly close to the threshold, and I'd prefer that we, if in doubt, we actually put them as grade C. And that way it keeps the quality of our bullion offering up, and it also gives us some moral high ground when we see coins from our competitors that are below our threshold. Christian was very keen for me to mention that we've actually got these on special offer at the minute, and I'll tell you that that secondary market bullion sovereigns have been in short supply since about 2008. So what are we? About 15 years in which we've rarely had a surplus stock of these. At the moment we've got a small surplus, so we've done a little tweak to our selling premiums. So if you want to buy bullion sovereigns at the minute, yep, we've got them on special offer. We'll put your link down below somewhere. These I haven't really looked at, but Edwards usually got a bit more wear and tear than George's, because sovereigns started going out of circulation about the start of the First World War, 1914, and you'll obviously notice that I'm not doing that from memory. I wasn't around at the time. Now, before we started shooting the video, Christian showed me some notes he'd got and said, oh yes, one of the reasons we're showing this video is that we can handle large buy-ins of sovereigns. And I said, oh, you call it large? Only about 750. Yeah, it's probably large for most individuals, most collectors, most small investors. And it's not a quantity we actually buy in every single day, but it's also not particularly surprising. And we've also bought in, quite a few times we bought 5,000 at a time, but they were all brand new ones from a little company in Llanfisant in Wales that you may have heard of. They're called the Royal Mint. And many, many years ago, and I can't even remember how far back now, somewhere between 2000 and 2008, we used to travel down there the day before they launched, which was usually very early January, and we'd be in there at about 10 o'clock in the morning, waiting to collect 5,000 and bring them home for us. We no longer do that because of the security, and I'm getting too long in the tooth to be doing all that travelling in one day. But yeah, 5,000 at a time was almost normal at the time. I think I probably should mention this buy-in of the sovereigns was somewhere over £250,000. I think on the day we had buy-ins of somewhere just over £500,000. We're also quite happy to just buy one coin. If somebody's got one sovereign that they want to sell, we're happy to buy it. The seller of these, who we've known of for quite a while, I guess he chose us because we actually pay good competitive prices, and he knows we're good people, he knows we've been around for a while. He actually called up and dropped these off. A lot of people feel it's better to actually come and drop them off in person. We do also have a distance buy-in service. Once our agents actually collect the coins from you, then they're fully insured till they get to us. For larger amounts, we'd probably use one of the big bullion and cash companies, somebody like Binks or Loomis, or one of those security companies, and they can handle sort of very large amounts indeed. So I hope you found most of that interesting and possibly entertaining, educational. And I should really, of course, I always have to be reminded to subscribe to our channel if you feel like it. And very importantly, we like to hear feedback and comments. And if you've got any questions, pop those down there. We will read them. We'll try to respond to them all sooner or later. And now, all has to be revealed. And don't worry, it's not a full Monty moment. I may keep my hat on, I don't know, but I'll reveal where the hat came from. For those who have been guessing, I actually acquired it in an Irish bar in Barcelona. We'd gone to watch a rugby match with some Welshmen from a small organisation in Llanfisant that you may have heard of, who also happened to be at the LBMA conference. It was a bit of networking really, and we were being chummy. You could say that we were there as their security guards to make sure they were safe. If you want to know about the match, don't ask me who were playing. I know the final result was 30-24. I think it might have been England playing. I don't know if it was Welsh. I don't know. I should know these things. But it was so noisy in the bar that I left, went round the corner and had a quiet coffee and a cake, and then came back to join them when the match was over. And so that's all, folks. Bye for now.